part of the way that you hit your pinnacle is you start delegating, hiring staff, automating everything. Well, not automating, but hiring other people and things of that nature, putting people in the right places.
Yeah.
But you were just making seven figures from the membership.
Yeah.
Then you kind of teased us a little bit when you start talking about the other platforms where you started going on speaking tours. You have packages that you offered. We don't have to dive into all that because I know you got other things to do with your time and things of that nature. But we're gonna tease folks and let them know. Just let them know real quick. What's that speaking tour that you have going on? Tell us about that real quick.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, it had gotten to the point where, we had started off in colleges, just going off and speaking and having a message. And again, the woman that I was with at the time, she was like, now listen here, we doing all this traveling and this $25, $50 that you charging, you giving it for free to the little college kids. You saying it's a free show. They just wanted to come and, because again, I just wanted followers. I just wanted some people to hear the message. So I wasn't really charging people to come to the college shows and actually see me in the flesh. I was like, it don't matter. I'm gonna drive up here. I'm gonna drive to drive to Prairie View, but then she was like, hey, that's gas money and that's time for me. You will need to compensate that back somehow. And man. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this a real tour. And it's like if I'm making this kind of money, just by talking online and doing little videos and just going on Instagram to promote it, and like that's all I'm doing. It's like, I got more time now. I got more energy. I got somebody else to fill in spots. I'm gonna go on tour. And then, we ended up doing
the other gym, y'all. He would have never made this money if he hadn't had dispersed his had other people take on the activity that he didn't want to take on. So now he was able to see other ways to make more money. Sorry, brother.
Exactly.
Golden.
That's it. Because like I said, once I was free, it gave me the ability to free up my mind and think of more ideas. I'm like, damn, how many ways can I really milk this I self-law and master? And I was like, you know what? And that's when I went, there was a lady out in Florida, Dr. Stacia, first, wealthy, like this family that flew me out privately, melanated family, millionaires, and after I gave them a whole little private presentation, she looked at me and she was like, all right, Quillen, well, I got about 8 people, because she had a whole staff in there. I got about 8, 9 people in here. And we all need this done, but we're busy people. And she looked back at me and she looked at them and she was like, so how much I got to pay you to do everybody's paperwork? I was like, damn, I've never done that before. I don't, I've never done it for anybody. I just, give them the classes and whoop, whoop. She was like, no, I don't have the time, but I'll pay you for your time if you'll do it for us. And I was like, I don't, and I was so nervous, but she was a melanated sister now. This an older woman, somebody's mama, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. 40, 50, whatever. She was just like, all right, now, you know what? I'll pay you $5,000 for each one of the packages if you go ahead and do them now. It's like, what? You pay us $5,000 for each one of them? It was like, yeah, I pay you $5,000, millionaire. So it was like, nothing to her. So, this would really made me start thinking about, well, hold on. Well, maybe, there's different markets, the high and the low. And then there's people who just don't have the time, but still want to get their affairs in line. So she taught me to revolutionize my thinking. It was like, yo, I'm going to just start training somebody else. I trained somebody to do that whole estate planning process for people. And again, that opened me up. I'll put it like that. That's really what sent me over the edge. Like, that's when I really started getting into the 3, 4, 5 millions and things like that, just because now we had high priced clients, athletes, entertainers, and regular people with regular jobs who were like, yo, I just don't have the time. I'll pay from 3,000 to 5,000, whatever it is. Well, we went in and set up their whole estate, trust, bank accounts, everything. But it was like, hell, it was good for the rest of their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, to them, it was like they were just invested in themselves. For me, it was like, once I taught the homies and showed them the game, they was thirsty. I'm talking about, we were creating more jobs. Boys was hitting me up. Hey, man, you got any more packages to come through today? I'm hungry. I'm trying to get that bonus, man. Now I just started really going out, promoting all these different services and things. And really, I really didn't have to do too much anymore. I would just literally hire somebody like, yo, you want to get some bread? You trying to do something? Let me show you this, yada, yada, yada. This is how you do it. And yeah, man, that's how I messed around. I had 15, 20 people that were all working for me. And I would have never, ever thought I'd have that many people working for me ever. You know, and this is an internet business, but it had grown in so many different ways and it was making money. Just like, man, you know, what just started off as something so simple that we were just doing in the living room at home turned out to be something omega that we ended up taking across the country. And, you know, for our very first Remedy comp, because we started off with tours all across the country, going to different colleges, going to different cities. And then, you know, it started getting bigger and bigger. I was like, yo, we getting about 100 plus at each one of these shows. You know what? You know, because they were paying $45, $50 to come to the show. I'm like, damn, you know what? Let's do a whole conference and let's invite all the homies. Let's get everybody in on this. So, you know, but we had like 500 plus, you know, at the conference. And I was like, yo, all y'all came here to learn knowledge of self. Y'all came to learn how to do trust and will. Y'all came. So it was just so mind blowing to me. You know, it was 500 plus people. Some people were paying 1,000 plus, some 200, 300. And, you know, and the numbers turned out, it was like one weekend we had made $300,000, $400,000 in one weekend. And I was just like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I never thought, and that's really what just really took my career to another level dealing with that, because it was like, yo, I don't know if I'll ever do anything else, yo. I'm passionate about helping my people, and this ain't even like a real job to me. You know, what I really love to do is play with technology, make headphones and create inventions and shit. But I was like, yo, I slipped around and fell into my purpose, just really trying to be able to provide for what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? The ancestors told me, no, brother, we can't give you the glory until you help out those who don't have.
So, man, okay. All right. So now with all that being said, it is inevitable that when you help people, you give people a stage, you help them, they move on, right? That's an inevitability. I want to compliment you on this because you talked about that and you didn't flinch, meaning you knew that people were going to leave you at some point, but you saw the positive in that, not the negative. Like, I taught you everything you know, how you going to leave me like that? What you said, and I want to make sure I compliment you, is you said, when one leaves, it opens a spot for someone else to fill.
Come in.
That's powerful, brother. So I want to salute you on that. And the way me and Brother Kalani, or Chief Kalani, excuse me, the way we met was we was on the road. We met on the road. We met first was at Brother Umar's event in Atlanta. And then we met again at another speaker's event in Oklahoma. And that's when we got a chance to like really connect. And so it's so I'm hearing this and I'm laughing because I'm like, yeah, I remember. I can see how that worked for you. I can see because I remember all that. And so but anyway, so with that being said, you have people that get connected to you, they rise up. Inevitably, sometimes people might even talk trash. Another thing I want to compliment you on is I've never heard you talk bad about anybody, even when I've seen bad relationships with you and them. I've seen the disconnect. Like, you know, you haven't told me out your mouth, but you told me through your body language, like we ain't on a good relationship. But you never spoke ill of them. Why is that? And I'm not trying to get all, you know, I'm not trying to get all,
cool.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you asked that though, brother. You know, because we kind of even dealing with, you know, stuff like that now, and people, it's crazy because, you know, you do have some brothers, and not so much with the sisters, but you'll have some brothers who will kind of, you know, get into the program, you know, learn what they want to learn, you know, and they always had the intentions and plan to move on, which is totally fine. You know, but some brothers will try to take everything that you have, then go off and create their own, and then try to down talk you and be like, well, I'm the new stuff, and I'm like, brother, you know, so I never ever felt the need to ever stoop down to anybody's level and play that game. And the only reason for that is just because, you know, I think it has to do with how I was raised, man. You know, I had my mother and my father my whole life, and I never ever, you know, my father always took care of the people in the church. It was, you know, my parents, man. I had some great parents that were loving, and you know, I can't ever really say I've never seen my parents ever get into a fight. you know, especially over something like money or anything petty of that nature or whatever, you know, if someone didn't like me, whoop, whoop. So, you know, I just always knew whenever you put hate out into the world, it'll always return 2 times greater, you know? So, you know, at the end of the day, when usually people send me hate, I always give them love. And, you know, it always just disappears with time, man, because I know I never had any ill intent to screw over anybody. And I think for me, just in the beginning, what I had to learn was how to set boundaries. I didn't know how to set boundaries, man. I would let anybody in, and I would let anybody, because I was so hungry to just teach the world and please everybody come build with us. Let's do this together. Unity. And you realize that's not really what it is, bro. You know, you have people who will plot on you, and I mean, I had people who are, you know, calling themselves the CEO of my own company. You know what I'm saying? I looked up and had the web developer go on there and change himself to the CEO and had moved me to president or something. I'm like, wait a minute, you know, when did that happen on the website? But you just had so many people who were trying to play games and try to take time. But it was like, you know, I never ever needed to go out there and down brothers, man. I always felt like I could by example. And many of those brothers, you know, who did me in certain ways, you know, and saw that, okay, that I wasn't gonna stop, I wasn't gonna quit, you know, just because you fell off the boat doesn't mean that my shit wasn't gonna keep rolling, you know. And I think a lot of these brothers, you know, and sisters that come from, damn, I hate to say this, a lot of them come from like broken homes, you know, and a lot of them have this, instead of competing with each other and, you know, like businessmen, we can compete through, you know, great products and yada, 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 and effectively communicating in that way. We would just be like, hey, well, no, I'm gonna just hate on this man and I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna try to bring him through the mud. And then I'm gonna turn around and say, well, hey, I'm better though. I'm better than him, and whoop, whoop. And what I just noticed about this game, man, when it came to this conscious market, bro, we never ever really needed to stun on anybody. Like those who really wanted to follow somebody was always because they followed him because his heart was pure, his intentions were pure. I used to hate getting lessons and learning things from people that I paid money for now, but you know, all they would be doing would be so arrogant, talking shit, whoop, whoop, and you know, always talking down on people because they felt that they were smarter, more intelligent. And I realized, you know, man, you know, most of the brothers that are out here, that's how they were. And it was like, yo, maybe I could undercut the market just being genuine, being real, treating people how I wanted to be treated, especially when it came to knowledge. I ain't feel like hearing all that extra shit. You want to talk about me and run me up. Hey, I paid you for the knowledge. Just give it to me, brother. That's all we hear. All that extra and whoop, whoop, I don't really care about, man. So yeah, I just learned that, you know, even when, you know, I'm not going to sit in here and get into some petty argument and, you know, and put all this on the internet and, oh, well, this woman did me like, or this man did me like that. And it's all good. Because at the end of the day, I know everything I did for my brothers and sisters was out of pure love and, you know, an intent to uplift them. And if they just wanted to screw me over and burn that bridge, it's cool. Because I know I could always rebuild another one and offer that opportunity to somebody else, man. And, but one thing I will say, it's crazy. Having a father changed a lot for me, only because, you know, my father's the one that always told me to never quit a job. Like, as far as like never do a half job, always finish everything that you started, you know, and almost to the point to where like, like I'd get in trouble. Like if I mowed the front yard and didn't mow the backyard when I was younger, like, he'd flip out like, yo, what's wrong with you? I told you, you know, and that stayed with me though my whole life. And every time that I ever felt like quitting, you know, when all my homies had left, or, you know, when some woman had, you know, stole this from me or whatever, you know, at moments where I felt low and I could quit, only thing I could ever hear in my mind was like my father, like, oh, you got to keep going. Why are you stopping? And really, that's what always kept me motivated to stay on my path. So I'm just blessed. I had a wonderful family, and it's a blessing.
And let me add something to help rephrase. You said one thing that changed the game for you. I will argue it was something that established the game because your father was always there. So you had an established base for yourself. You know what I'm saying?